guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. A couple days ago I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me that you would like me to answer, and I thought instead of just sitting down and talking to the camera that I would do my makeup at the same time just to make it a little bit more interesting. And I haven't shown you what I put on my face every day in a while, so yeah, I've already put my moisturizer on, and for that I use my Clinique Dramatically Different moisturizing lotion, and I also put on my Laura Mercier primer. This is the Radiance primer and I absolutely love this. It makes your face looks so nice and glowy. Mind you, this is mixed with a lot of sweat because it is so hot today. I'm literally holding a frozen meal on my lap to try and keep myself cool while filming this video. After that, I go in with concealer and cover up a little bit of my pimples. A lot of people do concealer after foundation, but I find it's never the same color, so I just like to put a little bit of coverage over my pimples before popping foundation on. So for this, I'm using my Boing Cakeless Concealer. This is in the shade number 2. I'm breaking out so bad at the moment. It's not escalating, it's just consistently around my chin, which I think is due to hormones, but it is very annoying. Hopefully you guys can see okay. So the first question that you guys asked was, how are you coping with the new lifestyle that we are having to live at the moment? And it's been weird. I don't really know how I feel yet. I feel like it's still not really sunk in that we can't like go out for breakfast anymore, we can't go get a coffee, we can't see our friends, and it's still kind of early days. And obviously I work from home, so I am kind of distracted with like filming and doing things like that, so I'm pretty lucky in that sense. But it's definitely been hard to adapt, just not being able to, we can't even go to the beach now, which is crazy. It's been weird, but it hasn't been too bad yet. I feel like I'm gonna get there, but I'm just making sure to stay really occupied. I'm living every day. Normally I'm making a list every day of things to do, and yeah, that's really helping, but times be crazy. I miss my family so much, but I'm just really grateful that they're all safe and healthy at the moment. So for my foundation, as always, I'm using my Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. This is in the shade 2W2 Rattan. It's probably gonna be a tiny bit dark for me right now because I don't have fake tan on, but we can blend. Another thing that I was really excited about a couple of nights ago, just trying to stay positive with what's going on, is there's so many more places on Uber Eats right now because obviously no one can go and dine in, so everyone's letting their Uber Eats drivers come from really far away, so that's really exciting. Just something that I noticed the other night and I was quite excited about, so I might treat myself and get a little bit of Uber Eats today. The next question was how to stay fit during lockdown. So I'm assuming that this person who asked it is from a country that they're literally not allowed to leave the houses, I believe. I think that's going on in some countries. Right now, I think in Australia, or some states in Australia, we're still allowed to leave for an hour or so to get exercise outside. So if you're allowed to do that, that's what I would suggest, you know, going for long walks, going for a run. But if you are stuck inside, I would definitely suggest investing in some booty bands or like big, what are those big loops? You can get the longer ones, you can do a lot with those as well. I wish I knew all the names, because there's those bands you can get with the handles on them. You can do so many arm exercises with those are really great as well. And then investing in some dumbbells, if you can find that online. I know a lot of places are sold out. I've even been trying to get some as well, but just try and get a few things like a kettlebell, some dumbbells. And if you don't have access to any of that, you can find such amazing HIIT workouts on YouTube that have that need no equipment at all, and they are really great. And never underestimate a no weights workout. They kill me even more, so I literally avoid them at all costs, but they will definitely keep you nice and fit, and they also get your endorphins flowing as well, which is definitely what a lot of people need right now. If you can get those endorphins flowing, it makes you feel good, makes you feel like you've done something, because I know a lot of us can't really do much with our lives right now. We're all stuck inside watching Netflix, but just waking up and doing a workout in the morning just starts your day off so well, and you actually feel really motivated after working out. Next, I'm going to put on some under eye concealer. For this, I use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer as always, and this is in the shade Light Sand, that's 20S. I'm probably not going to talk when I'm doing this because I have to pull the funkiest faces so it doesn't crease under my eyeballs. With my concealer, I always blend in one side first and then I go in and set that side so the side that I've done doesn't crease up while I'm doing the other side. So for setting my under eye concealer, I use the Huda Beauty Sugar Cookie Easy Bake Loose Powder, and I love this. I don't necessarily bake, I kind of just blend it in. And then I'll kind of go on my eyelid a little bit as well. So I went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera, but the product I used for them is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil in the shade 2.5. I love this. It's amazing. It literally doesn't budge. Best snuff ever. Now I'm going to move on to setting my face with a little bit of powder foundation. For that, I use my MAC Studio Fix powder. I love this. Another dupe for this, oh gosh, is the Australis. I forgot then, is it Fresh and Flawless? That's a good powder and it's super cheap, but I've still got some of this left, so that's what I'm using at the moment. The shade I use is NC35, and when I don't have a tan on right now, but when I am really pale, I use NC20. So I'm just using a big fluffy brush and I'm going to set my face. I literally look like I'm bald right now, but I just can't be bothered doing my hair, so up it goes. And soon I'm gonna look even balder because I'm gonna have to get my extensions taken out, which is a really sad time. I'm actually really nervous about it. I've been getting extensions for about, I want to say, could even be 2 years. And my hair's really fine without it. I've always had really fine hair, so every time they take it out and take the extensions up, I'm like, oh my god, it feels like I literally have no hair, and it's so sad. Okay, so once I've done most of my base, I will then move on to a little bit of eyes. I don't do a whole lot on my eyelids day to day just because I can't really be bothered. Sometimes I'll go for no shadow and a wing, and then other times I will literally just use my bronzer, pop that in my crease. I better use 2 bronzers because I like to mix them together because I'm just difficult like that. So the first one that I use is the Hourglass Ambient Bronze Light Powder. I don't know why, I just like the color of this. Looks natural, and I use this a little bit on my face as well. Obviously I'm pretty lucky that I mean, you don't have to wear lots of eye makeup anyway, but because I've got eyelash extensions, I just don't really have to do that much because they're quite dark and dramatic, for now at least, before they all fall out. So I'm just making the most of them at the moment. I'm lucky I got a refill right before everything started to get super strict. I concentrate a lot of the powder on the outer of my eye just to kind of drag it out a little bit. I don't really like to close in my eyes too much. I love how I'm using bronzer in my crease when I've got like a perfectly good eyeshadow palette literally in my hand. But for when I'm just doing my makeup normally, it's just easier to pick up my bronzer and pop some of that on my lid. I'll answer the next question while I'm putting the next bronzer into my crease, which is the Fenty Beauty Island Ting bronzer, which I love. But the next question is tips on relieving stress. I feel like this is kind of a hard one to answer, only because everyone's stress is so different, so it's hard to know someone's stress and know what could truly help them, if you know what I mean. People are dealing with different things that make them stressed in different ways. But for me, like dealing with work stress, definitely I love to write lists. I'm a huge list maker. I feel like I've mentioned that a lot in my videos, but it's my saving grace. I honestly don't know where I would be without my daily lists. And I don't wake up and write a list in the morning. I actually write my lists ahead. I've got about a week ahead at all times, and I plan on certain days. I'll write things that I'm doing, so then I just have it all written down and I can plan my life around that. And that really, really helps. Also, when I'm feeling stressed about a particular situation or something that's going on, I write in my notes, which I guess you could say is kind of like journaling, but the technological way. Let's just go with the tech way of doing it. Instead of actually writing it down in a journal, I just write it in my phone because it's easier. My phone is always with me, so if I'm feeling stressed about something, I'll just write it down in my phone, write down why I'm stressed, what's going on, and it just helps me kind of get it out of my head onto paper. It really lets me think about what's going on, and I don't know, it just helps me overcome some things. Apart from that, I'm not really sure. I mean, I could be like, oh, meditate, do yoga and all of that stuff, but then I'm really not practicing what I preach because I do not do that. But I have heard that helps a lot of people, and there's some amazing apps out there that can really, really help with that. I also love going for walks. I feel like that really helps me. I take Theo for a walk every day, and I find that really helps clear my mind. You can also sit down and just listen to a podcast that you enjoy, and just like stuff like that. And even just doing things for yourself, like pop a face mask on, have a nice shower just to refresh yourself. And I feel like that really helps just reset your brain, and you get a clearer mind, and then you can kind of handle what you're feeling stressed about. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm going to leave my eyes like that for now and move on to them a little bit later. But the next thing I do is move on to bronzer. So this is the same bronzer that I used in my crease. It's the Fenty Beauty Island Ting. I love this. I love the color. It's such a nice, like, just a good tan color. And it's a good color that goes with fake tan as well. I really, really love this. I used to use a smaller brush and kind of try and get, like, I don't know, I just used to use a smaller brush and kind of use it as contouring. But now I just find it's so much easier with a big floppy brush like this. Because I don't really contour as such. I just like to bronze up my face a little bit because it's quite pale. So the first place I do is my forehead, and then I kind of drag it down to my temples, as you can see. Now I'm going to move on to my cheekbones. I start really light and then I kind of just build my way up. So I don't really contour as such. As you can see, I literally just use it as like a bronzer, but I do focus it mostly underneath my cheekbone. Now I'm just going to take a little bit underneath my jawline. But the next question was what tanning products I use and how often I tan. I tan once a week, always, no matter what. Even now, I'm still tanning every single week, even though I'm not really tanning for anything in particular. I don't have any events, but I just love how I feel when I've got a nice fresh tan on, because unlike you lucky tanned people, naturally tanned people, I just burn in the sun and it just doesn't happen for me naturally. Plus it's better to not tan in the sun anyway. But the product I use always is Loving Tan 2 Hour Express Dark. It works the best on my skin, and even though it's not the ultra dark one, I feel like it goes even darker for some reason, and I do sleep in it overnight. If I ever want to like deepen my tan for an event, I'll use the Bondi Sands, their like tan cream. I love that stuff. It makes your skin look really nice and smooth. It's almost like a body foundation, so I love that. After I've done my bronzer, I move on to a little bit of nose contouring, which is something I'm newly kind of doing, but I really like the look of it. So I'm using my Hourglass bronzer that I used in my crease before, and this is in the color Bronze Light once again, and I'm just taking like a smaller brush, and the first thing I do is contour underneath my nose. Don't ask me why, it just creates a bit more definition. And then I will take some above my nose, just like right here, and that kind of makes it look a little bit sun-kissed like that. I will blend it out obviously, and then I also go down the sides of my nose as well, which is something I've newly been doing. I haven't always done this, but I do like the look of it. And then I'll drag it up a little bit right here. So once that's done, I'm just going to blend it out. I might get some powder actually, because I put a bit much on my nose, and I'm just going to blend it out. Next, I'm going to put on a little bit of blush. I use the Bobbi Brown blush in the color Pale Pink. I've had this for years. I just really like the color. It's like a super, oh my god, why can't I open this? It's like a super bright fuchsia pink, but it just comes off really nice on my skin tone. So just put a little bit of that, kind of focusing on my cheeks right here, and then I'll just drag it on my cheekbone as well, and then I use the excess on the bridge of my nose. I'm going to move back onto eyes for a second. So I'm going back in with that bronzer with, I couldn't even tell you what brand this is, but it's just like a flat little square brush, and I'm just going to use a little bit of that on my lower lash line, and I just kind of blend it into my eyeshadow up there and drag it out a tiny bit. Next question that you guys asked was what are Ryan and I's star signs. So I'm a Taurus. I was born on May 17th, which is next month, so I'm going to spend my 25th probably inside, which is fine as long as we're safe. So yeah, I'm a Taurus, and Ryan is a Cancer. He was born on June 22nd, and he's a year older than me, by the way. He turns 26 this year, and I turned 25 like I said. But I honestly couldn't even tell you that much about my star sign. I know that they can be stubborn, which is kind of true, bullet a gate, which is also kind of true, and they revolve around food. They love food. I don't know if that's something that has kind of been made up over time, like, you know, those star sign Instagram pages that tell you all these facts about yourself that probably aren't even true, but a lot of the Taurus ones revolve around food, which is definitely relative for me because food is literally my life. So if that's true, then I'm definitely very, very much a Taurus. And as for Cancers, I just know my mom's a Cancer as well. They can be super emotional, which I guess is kind of true. Apart from that, that's kind of all I know. I've also never Googled if we're compatible, because I would hate to Google it and then find out that we're not, and I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna break up now. But I feel like we are, because we've been together for 5 years, so surely. Next, I'm dipping into my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to be using one color out of the whole thing just to pop in my inner corner. It's just like a light kind of champagne color. I'm also going to use the excess on my brush and pop that on my brow bone, just a little bit. And I also blend it up a little bit onto my lid just so it blends nicely. I'm also going to use the excess on this little brush and use that on my Cupid's bow. Next, I'm going to set my brows into place using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel. This is in the shade Taupe. I love this product so much. It's my favorite brow gel that I've ever used. And I'm nearly out of it, so I need to get some more. But whilst I'm doing that, I will answer the next question, which is, what are my favorite quarantine time killers? For me, like I said, my job, you know, doing YouTube is still going, which I'm very, very thankful for. So obviously I'm loving filming videos. Another thing that I've recently started doing, which is like a guilty pleasure of mine and a lot of other people's, is making TikToks. They take up so much time, especially if you're trying to learn a dance. I will literally spend hours trying to learn a dance, and obviously that's really good exercise as well. So it's kind of like a really great thing to do. You're getting to learn to dance, you're active, and it takes up a lot of time, and you get to have fun and film a TikTok. So I've been loving doing that as well. I love going out in the sun. I know not everyone gets to have a pool and whatnot, but I will just lay by the pool. And then obviously for me, I'm still doing quite a bit of work stuff. Like I'll sit down and I have like edit days. I try to take content inside, which is something other people can do for their Instagrams. If they feel like it, you can find some nice spots in your house, do makeup, a bit glam, take some photos. Exercising, obviously. Cooking food. I've actually started cooking food, which is crazy for me, but now I don't have the excuse to not have time. So that's something I've been loving as well. I definitely want to start baking, which I think I'll show you in my next vlog. You can clean your house, do some spring cleaning, which I know isn't the funnest thing to do, but it's definitely a time waster, and you also feel really great for doing it. Now I'm going to move on to my highlights. I use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Prosecco Pop. This is like a nice gold color. So I'm going to pop that down my nose, the bridge of my nose, and I just put a little bit on the tip of my nose as well. And then my cheekbones, and I'll also blend it up on my forehead as well, just above my brow, and I'll put a tiny bit on my chin as well. And then I take my big fluffy brush and I just kind of blend that out a little bit, just so it's not too harsh and blends into my skin nicer. Sometimes I take it down here as well because it just makes you look really nice and glowy. The last question, which I will quickly answer because I only have my lipstick to go, is how do you stay positive? And for me, staying positive is a massive mindset thing. Obviously, it's something you learn over time. You can't just wake up and be like, today I'm going to be positive, because naturally some of our brains are just wired to be negative first, which is something that definitely takes practice getting out of. Another thing that really helps me when I'm feeling negative is trying to put the situation or my life into perspective. I think perspective is a major thing that affects people's positivity. You know, because when you're in this really negative mood, it's really hard to be like, oh, things could be worse. I'm actually really lucky. These are some things that I have in my life that I love, because it's until you're going through something even greater that you're like, oh my God, I wish I was just worrying about that again, if that makes sense. So perspective is a major thing for me. For my lips, I'm going to put on my Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick. This is one of my favorites. It's such a nice soft formula, and this is in the color Wifey. Sometimes I'll use lip liner with this as well, but I'm kind of lazy right now. I'm literally doing my makeup to take it off right now. I might get a photo, but I don't know, we'll see. I really want to go in the pool. Once I've got it on, I just kind of pat it in just so it blends really nicely and doesn't look streaky. And then I'm actually going to go get a tissue and just blot my lips as well, and it just helps it last longer. It sits nicer on the lips, so I'll go and do that now. And there we have it. Here is the finished makeup look. It's what I do every day. It probably looks like I take a really long time to do my makeup, but obviously while I'm talking it takes a bit longer, and I'm not in my usual setup. But this normally takes me about 20 to 25 minutes, which isn't too bad for me. It probably is a long time for some people, but 20 minutes, pretty good for me. So yeah, here's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to film more makeup tutorials. I just kind of get nervous filming them because I'm not a makeup guru. I do my makeup pretty much the same most days. I'll be a bit more dramatic on a night out. So maybe that's the next one I could do, is just like a night out kind of makeup and then move forward from there. But let me know if you guys want to see it. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you would like to be a part of my family. It would mean the absolute world to me. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!